Hey guys, thanks for clicking on my video. Really appreciate that. So today we are going to do a transmission oil and filter change on a 2009 Honda Civic. That would be an automatic transmission. So we're going to show you how to do it and what you need to do it, and see if you can do it yourself or not. Thanks. We'll be right back. So here's our 2009 Civic. This one's a coupe. So we're gonna go step by step and show you what we need to do it. So we go down here and start with the simple stuff, right? Pop the hood. And there you go. All right, here's the little monster. We're gonna get some light in here, and we are going to locate our transmission fill drain. And this car has an inline filter, not a filter in the pan. Actually, I don't even think this one has a pan, but we'll show you exactly what we do and how we do it. We get to the next step. Okay, so we got it jacked up. We got our jack stands under there and all that kind of good stuff, so the car's not gonna fall on us. And we have a chock behind the back wheel because those things are kind of important to do. So first thing we need to do is locate our filter. Like I said, this one has an inline filter. And from what I can remember, I believe it is on top of the transmission underneath this air box. So we're gonna take this air box out. This is the air cleaner. It's got a bunch of clips on it over here. We're gonna take that out and we're gonna start from there. Like I said, this has 4 clips. You pop those clips out and you can just flip that thing right out of the way. And that is your air cleaner, which is super clean because we just changed it. And now we're gonna take this bottom side of this air box out so we can see what's going on down here. All right. So we removed the air filter and we removed the air box, which goes into the throttle body here, so we can access this area above the transmission because that is where the sneaky little filter is hiding. Now, I don't know how good you can see this with the camera, but this line right here goes to the filter. And if you can see my hand, the filter is right underneath these hoses. If I move these hoses, you can see that inline filter right there. That is the transmission oil filter. So it looks like there are 2 clamps, and then it looks like there is a housing clamp over it. I'm gonna say it is a 10 millimeter. So can you see this one here? This bolt right there, that's the first one you're gonna take out. Maybe if I had a screwdriver, it'd be easier to point at. All right, so it is this bolt right here that we need to remove. That's a 10 millimeter. So we're gonna do that first and go back. This is the filter, just an inline filter for the transmission, 2 hose clamps on each side. There is a Honda filter, and there's the part number and everything right on there if you want to look at it closer. Honda. And of course we use Honda genuine automatic transmission fluid for this vehicle because Hondas are a special little thing and we don't want to use aftermarket stuff on the transmission. Catch it, 10 millimeter, no extension, and I can get that right onto the bolt. And I always say this, don't drop the bolt. And what do? I drop the bolt. So first process is to find the bolt that we dropped, because I would say don't drop the bolt, and as you're saying it, it like goes, and you drop the bolt. Anyway, we recovered the bolt, we'll put it in our little ashtray. That is the clamp that holds the actual filter. Now we have hose lines to remove to get that filter off. And of course, they're not in a convenient place, but we wouldn't expect anything less, you know. So this is my daughter's car. She took it to the oil change place in Florida when she was living in Florida. They charged her $200 to change the transmission oil and filter. Well, I can guarantee you they did not change the filter, because I know I put this filter on there before she went to Florida, and it's the same filter. Not to mention, I know they didn't go through this, but yeah, $200 to change 3 quarts of oil on a Honda transmission, which is like a drain nut and a fill, which we're going to show you later how easy it is to do. So maybe that's why I like to do things for yourself, you know. Okay, we'll be right back. So this is the filter, comes out here. Now I took the hose off here. Oh, can you see this? Is there enough light here? I don't know where my light is. Anyway, so I took it off this side here because it gave me a little room to move the filter. But getting the other side off was a little difficult to get your hands down where you need to go there. So it probably took me a few minutes. And one of the other challenges to this job is, I'm sure there's probably a special tool for this, but these hose clamps from Honda are fatter than your typical pair of pliers. So you try to grab them with a pair of pliers and the pliers come through the center. I had this like old pair that kind of reached, I don't know, maybe Honda has an actual special tool for this clamp, but these pliers worked. So then you want to make sure that you remember which way the filter flow goes, because I don't think it has a mark on it that tells you which way it flows, but you want to get that part right. So we're going to take this hose and we're going to put it onto the new filter, and then we are going to reinstall the transmission fluid filter. That's where we're at. It's good. Okay. So here's our new filter. I always do stuff like this, like paint pen. I just take a little paint pen around it, because sometimes, like I was saying before, did they change your filter or did they not change your filter? Well, I made a mark on there, so I know. This one had an X on it. I can still see the remnants of the X from the first time I did it, so I can guarantee you that the oil change place that charged the $200 did not change the filter. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to turn this around. We're going to make sure we get it on the correct way. So we're going to take off our big fancy Honda clamp here. And let's see, I have a little kind of fork tool thing that I use for this. Usually gets a hose off pretty easily. There it goes. So eye it up. So we know this hose goes on this side of the filter, so that is the way it would flow. So take that off, and we're going to put that on, and then we'll put this hose clamp right back on like that. Okay, and now we have to go down there and put the other one on. So I usually, to make things a little easier, because it's really hard to get to that spot, put a little WD-40 or PV blaster on this thing, so when you're down there you can slide the hose onto it easier. So we're going to reinstall our new transmission filter. Never mind, get it on there. Okay, so okay, the filter, new filter in. We got both clamps on there secure, and now, like I said, it's easier if you take this top hose off first, because now there is a clamp for this thing there, which we're probably going to put on first and then reinstall. Here's the other half of the clamp. It actually goes over the filter. So you have to hook this little spot here, goes over here, and then you have to put your hand where it's impossible to put to get it over the filter. And that is a pretty nice tight fit. So we got that in there. And now we're gonna do it again. Don't drop the bolt. So that is the clamp that holds the filter in there. And we're gonna get our 10mm socket. We're gonna tighten that down. Here we go. Maybe. Okay, that's good and tight. And then we will reinstall our upper hose here. As you can see, this job is a little bit challenging to get to. And then we're gonna reinstall that top clamp, maybe. We can get it over here. Like I said, I don't know if Honda makes a special clamp or there's a special clamp tool for this, but if they did have one, it would probably make my life a lot easier. I'm gonna slide that clamp right back on. See, we'll point it down a little bit. And then we're gonna put this hose, which I think these are heater core hoses, I think. And they go on there. But I tell you, when you work on Hondas, you notice little things, they do things just really nice. Everything has a clamp, everything has a spot where it goes. Nothing's really loose in there. Anyway, they do a really nice job. So now we are going to go underneath and we're gonna drain the fluid out, and we'll refill it while it's still warm, because it's always better to do it when it's a little warm. That's where we're at. Okay, so here is your drain nut for the transmission. It actually is a 3/8. Just put the 3/8 socket, not a socket actually, just the, I can't come up with the word. You just put the ratchet in there and that pops that open. So we got a little drain pan here, and we're going to drop this out, try to get the oil in the pan. Then there's your drain plug. We'll bring it up on the bench. We'll show you there's a magnet and there's a washer that goes on it. And the fluid looks pretty dirty. Sorry, am I blinding you?
That's cool.
Fluid looks pretty dirty. Maybe because they didn't change the filter last time. I don't know, but we're gonna let this drain out and we're gonna go up top now. Okay, so now that's draining under there. This is your drain plug, okay? It comes with a metal washer, which, as you can see, they taped right to the top of my thing there to replace the new washer. And then on the end of the drain plug, this is a magnet. So I used a clean paper towel so you can see. The magnet picks up all the little pieces of shrapnel or metal, whatever it is, from the transmission, so it doesn't continue to go through the pump. So you want to clean that magnet off really good. There's no major pieces of metal in here, just some typical wear and tear, so that's not too bad. I think we got 130 something thousand miles on it, I'm not sure. So that's that. We're going to clean that off. We're going to get our new washer for the drain plug. So we get our new washer, our thing, and now you can see it. This is just a 3/8 ratchet, goes right in there. You don't actually need a socket for that. All right, so we'll let that drain out. We're gonna put this back in and we'll go to the refill process. All right, so we drained out pretty good. We cleaned up our plug. We got a new washer on there. We cleaned the magnet off. So now we're gonna reinstall the drain. And you know, like I was saying before in the video, if you didn't change the filter on this job, literally there's a drain nut right here, which is really easily accessible. And there's a dipstick right on top that you don't even have to remove the air box or anything to get to. I'm gonna put that in and we're gonna tighten that down good. And you put in your 3 quarts. So literally, if you didn't change the filter, this job would probably take you about 10 minutes. This is off subject, but remember I said Honda just does things a little bit better than other cars. Like Can you see this? It actually is engraved into the oil pan. It says engine oil, so you know. Most cars just don't do those little extra tricks. Anyway, we're gonna go back up top now. Okay, so we got our new filter installed. We got all the clamps back on. We got the filter clamp down. We got the fluid drained on the bottom. We reinstalled our plug. If you can see right down here, this is the dipstick and fill for the transmission. Literally just pops right out, and this is where we're gonna refill the transmission. We'll refill it now before we reinstall the air box, just to give us a little bit more room. So I'm gonna grab a funnel and some fluid. Our genuine Honda transmission fluid. They say that it takes about 3 quarts. Not 100% sure, so we're gonna probably put 2 in and then see how that goes. That's another one. We get fancy. We install our air box here, but it's always nice if you kind of clean it up a little bit, because it's easy to clean while you have it off the car. Just a little extra stuff, just, you know, wipe it out. We already shut the water off for the season, otherwise I would probably just bring this thing out and hose it down just to get it clean. But you got 3 connectors, the intake, and then where it goes into the throttle body. So just to make your life a little easier, you take a little WD, PB, whatever the stuff is, penetrating oil. You put them around these parts here, because then when you go to install the hoses back on it, everything just goes together a little bit easier for you. Like I said, not necessary, but you know, why not? Make it look a little better. Okay. There's some challenges and some different shapes to this thing, and the hole in there, so you really just got to finagle this thing until you get it in there, you know. I don't know if there's a special way to do it. I wish I knew. I would tell you how to do it without it being kind of a pain in the butt. It doesn't seem like I have figured that out quite yet, so I think we're getting somewhere. All right. Definitely want to get it into the throttle body first. Some light would be nice. I'll pull this hose out of the way here. Okay. Looks like it's going in fairly well. Not all the way. Everything's a fight. Let me get a nut and a bolt. Okay, so it's a 5.5 millimeter bolt on this hose here. I'm just gonna use this screwdriver to help me out a little bit here, and then this goes here. Go. That's tight. Next, we're going to get this. Oh, I gotta get a plier on the top of the air box here. Put that there. Those 2 are good. And we're gonna line up. There's like a pin here. It's not a bolt. It's just a pin where the box sits on it, so you know you're in the right spot. So that drop that pin in, and then next we're gonna line up our 2 10 millimeter bolts. There's one here, and then there's one in the back down there, which is the one I dropped originally. Creative to try not to drop the bolt. when we put it in the back there. I got some extended needle nose pliers, so we're gonna try to drop this in without dropping it. And I think I got it in there. Okay, and then we're gonna put this one. This one goes back here. And it seems like it's threading in. That's why the pin's good, because you know if the pin is in, then your bolts should be lined up. So let me grab an extension for that back one. It's a 10 millimeter. I got a little universal joint on here because it's not really a straight shot. And we're gonna try to get that one in there. Of course, it's probably not gonna be in the right spot, because why would it be? I think it dropped in. All right, let's get our ratchet on there. That's it, snugged right up nice. We didn't drop anything. Airbox, like this. All right, is it on? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna re-filter back here, and then we're going to reinstall our top of the airbox. Make sure all the clips are open. There's 4 clips on this one. And then get it into the throttle body first. Bring it down here. That's 1. White. 2. 3. 4. All right, that's all back in. So now we're gonna start it up, and we're gonna check our fluid and make sure we're in the right ballpark, and then we should be done. Good, let's see, need some light. We need a better light. All right, tells you right on the dipstick hot, so you wanna make sure the transmission is warm, but we're gonna check it just to see if we have a level. All right, looks like we have fluid in the right spot there, so that's good. So it looks to me like it's safe to start the car back up. So now we're gonna do that. All right, I'm gonna start it back up. Here's the receipt from the dealer. Like I said, we used all dealer stuff on here. $84.26 with tax is what it cost, and it was 3 quarts of genuine Honda fluid and 1 genuine Honda filter. I think it was $48.90. So you know, it cost a few bucks for the dealer parts, but I really think it's worth it. Now we're going to take it for a test ride, make sure it's warmed up, and then we will recheck the transmission fluid, but it should be pretty good. We're on a test drive. This guy's driving. She knows how to drive.
Thank you.
So we're gonna take a little test drive, and then we gotta run to the parts store and get some stuff. And then we'll come back and we will check the fluid to make sure that it is at the right level, if it needs more or not, but it should be good. We'll be back. Seems to be working perfectly. Now the engine is warm, so we brought it back in and we shut it down, and we're going to check the fluid level. The little dipstick, like I said, right down here between the airbox and the battery. We're going to bring it up here. I can't see. We're going to wipe it off. Now this one tells you hot, and there's your X's. So you, ooh, that's hot. It's hot, all right. Let's put it in. Now let's bring it back out. And it looks to me, I can't see. Looks to me like it's perfect. 2.5, maybe another drop. We'll probably add a little drop to it, because I don't think we actually put in 3. But quick tip, Honda is always a little bit different than the other cars. So almost every automatic transmission, when you check the fluid on the transmission, it would be the engine at operating temperature, and it's usually like idling in park. The engine is on. Honda, you actually check the fluid with the engine off. So big difference between Honda and a lot of other cars. So make sure you read the owner's manual. Tell you go in the back of the index how to check transmission fluid, but it's really important that you get it right. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope this helps, even if it might be a little bit more than you can handle for a do-it-yourself thing. If you want to do the filter and everything, at least you know when you go to the oil change place or whatever, you know what the right questions to ask, and you know if they did change the filter or they didn't. So you know, and we went over the other tips. So again, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe thing, and you all have a great day. Peace.